How you doing? Joe McCall here. This is Deals with Joe. This is my weekly training call where I go live and I look at deals and I analyze deals, talk to sellers, talk to realtors, make offers. So I'm glad you're here. And if you're a Deals with Joe student, you actually get to submit your deals in here and I'm going to review your deals. But first, I want to tell you about something I got coming up this Saturday and every Saturday for the foreseeable future. If you go to joemccall.com/Saturday right now, I'm doing a $7 3-hour live masterclass called the Land Fast Start Challenge. And it's a masterclass where I'm going to go into a brand new market. I'm going to pick a market. I'm going to show you everything A to Z on how I do deals in a brand new market. And I'm going to, in this 3-hour masterclass, showing you everything, step A to Z, how to pick a market, how to find the best buyers, what they're buying, how to find the sellers. We're going to pull a list. We're going to start a direct mail campaign. We're going to start a cold calling campaign. We're actually going to start calling realtors and we're going to start calling people and start making offers on this 3-hour workshop. It's just $7. Go check out all the information right now, joemccall.com/Saturday to see what it's about. And when you go there, you're going to get to a page that looks like this. You're going to be taken to this page. And you watch this video and a little bit we'll show you kind of what we're doing. So my goal with this class is for you to do it with me. So as we're going live, you get to actually just do the same thing I'm doing, where we're going to be picking a brand new market, setting up all the marketing and systems, starting a full marketing campaign, cold calling, direct mail, picking a county, pulling a list of buyers and sellers, setting up everything in FreedomSoft. Now, you don't have to use FreedomSoft, but I have my custom Joe McCall signature edition of FreedomSoft, and I'm going to show you how you can. It's just super easy. But there's other tools that you can use if you want. We're going to start a direct mail campaign for sellers, a direct mail campaign for buyers. We're going to call some buyers, see what they're looking for. This needs to be updated. We're going to be actually mainly calling sellers, finding out, but we'll be calling buyers and sellers. We're going to skip trace the list. We're going to start cold calling. We're going to do all of this in about 3 hours. And I've got lots of testimonials, guys, of people that have been through my stuff. And these are recent too, if you look at the dates on this. And it's going to be fun. It's just $7. I'm excited about this. I just wanted to do something that would give you a lot of value, something that you could actually start implementing today in your business. All right. And again, if you want more information, go to joemccall.com/Saturday, joemccall.com/Saturday. And people ask me all the time, do you still do deals today? Does this business really work? Can it work for me? And I kind of wanted to just create a class to prove it to you and show you what we actually do every single day. I do what I teach and I teach what I do, I like to say. And I love this business. I did a video a few months ago about doing deals while on the golf course. And I'm wearing my golf shirt right now and my golf hat. I love to golf. Personally, it's what I enjoy doing. And I go about 3 times a week, sometimes 4 times a week. And I've set up my business so that I get other people to do the work for me pretty much. So I set up the systems, I do the marketing, I get the leads to come in, and I have people that I work with that then work the leads from there. And one of the reasons why I do this class is it's one way that I train people how to do land deals so they can bring the land deals to us. And we either buy them, we lend money on them, we partner with students on deals, and it's a great way. It's one of the ways that I found. So my main goal in this class is to kind of train you on the systems, how everything works, so that you can set up this automated machine that sends out the marketing, brings in the leads, you make the offers like I'm going to show you how to do here on this workshop training here in a minute. And then you just do deals. If you could do 1 or 2 deals a month, and on kind of like autopilot, there is work you need to do, but pretty much do 1 or 2 deals a month. And if you sell them on owner financing, then it becomes a passive income machine, right? But it's just a numbers game. It's 20 to 30, maybe 40 offers per deal. So I'm going to create a spreadsheet and kind of show you how the numbers work in this business. I'll make this big. All right. So let's say my average profit per deal is $10,000. Now, our numbers are actually $10,800. All right. So my average profit, that is what I sell it for minus what I'm buying it for after closing costs and things like that. So my average profit is about 10 grand a deal. Now, how many offers per deal do I need to make? Let's say on average it's 30. And then what percent of my leads do I make an offer on? I make an offer on about 85% of the leads that come in. Hopefully I got that right. So how many leads per deal do I need? I'm going to take 30 divided by 85%. So I need 35 leads per deal. Make sense? 35.3 leads per deal. If my average response rate is 1%, and we're doing about 2.5%, 3% right now on some of our postcards, but we're dealing with a lot of junk, bad leads as well through that. But let's say conservatively 1%. All right. So how many, and these are postcards. How many postcards do you need to send per deal? Equals 35.3 divided by 1%. So I need to send about 3,500 postcards per deal. Man, you guys are killing me. This is so big. Okay. I was having breakfast this morning with a friend talking about all this. You got to send about 3,500 postcards per deal. Now, honestly, I'm sending way less than that right now per deal. So our numbers kind of like are 25 offers per deal. We're making offers on about 90% of our leads, and we're getting about 1.5% response rate. Oops. 1.5% response rate. I don't know where the spreadsheet's all going. Okay. So we got to send about 1,800 postcards per deal. That's about what we're averaging right now. All right. But this is just, I want to show you how this is all just a numbers game. If it is 30 offers per deal and you're making offers on 85% of the leads that come in and you're getting a 1% response rate, that means you need to send about 3,500 postcards. So if my average cost per postcard, and this includes the list, let's say it's 0.70 cents. I'm being real conservative here. So my marketing costs per deal is 35.29 times 0.7. I'm spending about $2,500 in marketing to do one deal. That may sound like a lot, but my average profit is $10,000 per deal. And so this, again, is after closing costs, pictures, realtors, etc. Okay. So then after marketing costs, my net profit per deal is what? Is that minus that? Is that minus this? All right. So my average net profit per deal is about $7,500. Okay. Let's say your average profit is $7,500 and you have to make 25 offers per deal, because here's the thing. When we're talking to the sellers first, so if I'm making 30 offers, we're kind of averaging sometimes 25. About say you're sending offers to 80% of your leads. So you need about 30 leads coming in. We're getting about we're getting about 2% response rates. You want to see what our response rates right now are on some of these postcards we're setting? I'll show you right now. One of our campaigns is Marion County. I'll show you our numbers. You have 140 something leads in here. We're doing 3.4% response rate. What? Yeah, we're sending this postcard. I'm going to be talking about this in the Saturday workshop. Again, where's the link for that Saturday workshop? I'm glad you're asked. It is right here. joemccall.com/Saturday. joemccall.com/Saturday. I want to see you guys there. All right. So you see my numbers. We're doing 3 point. Well, we're getting a lot of, we're still working on these leads. We got 11 leads we're manually following up with. We have 17 that we're in the process of sending offers to. 29 are dead. We've sent 35 offers. 36 are hangups. We keep on trying to call them back. So we're getting, about 3.4% response rate. Now on this kind of a campaign with this postcard, which is a little bit more aggressive, we may be at 30 offers. So you see what I'm saying? on average, you're going to be spending about between $1,000 to $2,000 in marketing per deal. Is that cool? All right. So if you marketing numbers. So if you want to be on Zoom with these, like with me on these things, just go to dealswithjoe.com and you'll get this spreadsheet. But not bad, right? It's better than a poke in the eye with a stick. But if you're only chasing bigger deals where your average profit is $15,000, all right, you may need to make 40 offers per deal. You might be getting just a 1% response rate on your letters and stuff. So you might have to spend $3,000 because you have to make more offers, but you might have to spend $3,000 per deal, which means your net after direct mail is going to be about 11,000. So it just kind of depends on your numbers. But this, what I've seen, guys, is how it works. Our numbers historically have been one offer out of every 20 that gets accepted. We send out offers to about 85% of our leads. We get a 1% response rate. So we're sending about 2,300 postcards per deal. Our average cost per postcard is 70 cents. We're spending about $1,600 in marketing per deal, which are net profit after closing cost, pictures, realtors, and direct mail. We're netting about $9,100. Cool. So I'm going to show you how we do all of that on this Saturday workshop, joemccall.com/Saturday. When you go there, you see this video here, sign up for it. And one of the cool things, there's a little upsells that we sell when you sign up and you're ready for this. It's just $7. But if you want, I'm going to, for an additional $27, I know it's kind of hard to see here, but when you get into this, we have a special one-time offer for $27. I'm going to give you a spreadsheet I have of the hottest markets for land in the United States. And I have a spreadsheet that I walk through all of those markets. And so you don't have to waste any time trying to figure out what are the good markets, et cetera. Cool. So are you coming or not? Are you coming? It's joemccall.com/Saturday. It's just $7. It's going to be awesome. Okay. So I have one of our clients here who's in this call, David. What's up, David? How you doing, man? He has a property he wants us to look at. He gave me the GPS coordinates and I have the APN number. And he gave me a Redfin link. Let's check this puppy out. All right, so this is the GPS coordinates. If we look at it on a map, boom, there it is. And I'm going to zoom out. I'll show you where this is in North Carolina, in Brunswick County. All right, right there in the corner. It's a hot market, a lot of activity there. One of the first things we look at is this property. Does it have road access? And I'm going to guess it does. All right, there's a road right there. If I look at here, boom, there it is. I like to use Land ID to take a look at properties and get more research, kind of more details on it. So let's do a new map here. Let's go to North Carolina. And I have, again, the GPS coordinates. So I'm going to copy GPS coordinates here in Land ID. Let's pull the property up. Latitude, longitude, paste. This is why I like to get my lists from priced, because priced gives me GPS coordinates. And I don't have to worry about the address because a lot of vacant land doesn't have addresses, right? All right, so there's the property. It obviously has road access. It's 1.78 acres. And sometimes you can get information on when it was last purchased or last sold, if the county makes that available. And I don't see it here. The owner lives in Little River, South Carolina. So this is a property that David has. The seller might be interested in selling it if the offer's right. Let's look to see, is this in a flood zone or a floodplain or whatever? So I'm going to go to overlays, floodplain, nothing. Good. Let's click on wetlands. Nothing. Oh, yikes. It's in a wetland. Not that this is a deal killer, but it might be. I think I remember talking about this deal earlier, David. So yeah, is this good or bad? I don't know. It might be bad. So I would be a little bit more conservative on my offer. I would tend to go on the lower side and I would get it under a contract at the lowest price that I can and see what the market says. You might be able to find a buyer that doesn't care. It's just a recreational land. They don't want to build a house on it. They just want a place where they can go camping or shoot their guns or hunt. I don't know. It's kind of a small property, but you just don't know. Well, get it under contract, disclose that it's in a wetland. And if you don't sell it, if within a month you don't have any interest because of that, if that's a deal killer, go back to the seller, either negotiate a lower price or cancel it. Cancel the agreement. We have 3 months to close on this deal. 3 months, right? Okay, so the address of this property, it doesn't have one. Otherwise, the address would be right up there. So we need to pull this property up on Redfin, don't we? Now, David sent me a link to the Redfin, but I'm going to show you how I would get it. And it's simple. I'm just going to get an address of a property right here. So there's an address of a property right next door. So I'm going to copy that address. We're going to open up Redfin. We're going to put that address right in there and go to it. And then we're going to click on this map icon. We're going to click on nearby homes for sale. And what that just did is our property is right, the one we're looking at is right in the center. And then here's our vacant lot we're looking at right there. So I'm going to put that property in the center of this map. And I'm going to switch this. I want to see all of the properties listed for sale right now and under contract pending. I'm going to do home type land. All right. And ours is how many acres? 1.78 acres. All right. So for filters here in Redfin, I'm going to say, show me all the properties that are between like 1 and 4 acres. I could do 1 to 3, but, and now we just start zooming out. And I'm going to sort from low to high. And I can tell already I'm going to need to go to Zillow. All right, so here's a similar property, real close, listed for sale right now for $75,000, right? If I open that up, it's similar size, and it's been on the market 183 days. Just gives me an idea. I'm always thinking about what is I want to put myself in my buyer's mindset. Like, why would they want to buy mine and not this one? Why would they want to buy this one and not mine? All right, now let's look at solds. Sold last 6 months. Let's go past the year. I'm okay with going back a year because I want to see the cheapest comps. I want to see all the cheapest comps in the last year. And I'm sorting this from low to high. This is going to help me figure out what my offer is going to be. Now you'll notice here, normally Redfin used to give you the acre size here, but they don't anymore. And I don't know why they stopped doing that, because now the Pebble scraper tool thing doesn't work, but it still works on Zillow. But you don't need to use that scraper tool. I have this software. If you have deals with Joe, you have access to this software. It's called Simple Land Offers. I created it. And this just kind of helps you come up with an offer. So you'd put the reference ID here. You put the APN number here. The APN number is, oops, copy. Seller's name, you'd put the seller's name here. Charlie Marlowe. And you put his address right here. Because the reason I'm doing this is it's going to create a contract for me and a letter. And the zip code right there. I can delete that stuff. Property address, we don't know. And the city is Calabash or something. North Carolina. And the zip. All right. The county, this is Brunswick, I think. Brunswick County, and the acres is 1.78. Cool. Now, this is the way this software works is it helps you figure out what the value is based on active comps and then sold comps. All right, so let's look at active comps. I'm going to put some numbers in here. Let's go back to actives. and I'm going to make sure I'm looking at under contract and pendings. And I'm sorting this from low to high. If you need more comps, you can zoom out more, right? All right. This one is way far away. And it's 20 grand, 1.32 acres. Is that a good comp? I don't know. Maybe. But 20 grand, 1.32 acres. And it gives me my average price per acre, right? And then let's go to the next one. This one's pending. 71, 1.92. 36,000 an acre. Cool. Let's go to this one. 74.9, 1.37. 74.9, 1.37. All right, then this one here. 79.9, 1.07. 74,000 an acre. This one right here. 90,000, 1.43. 63,000. So it's giving me the average number here, right? Let's do one more. One more, shall we? This one right here. 94,500, 1 acre. 94,500, 1 acre. So my average is 56,000 an acre. Okay. Normally I discount active comps maybe 15%. So I take 53 times 85%. And when I'm making my offer, I'm usually, maybe 35 to 40%. So let's do 40% on this. So my value based on active comps is going to be about maybe 85 grand, and I'm going to offer maybe about 34 grand. Okay. Usually on the more expensive properties, I'm going to offer a little bit more. Now let's look at a value based on sold comps. So I'm going to close this, go back to here, and I'm going to switch to solds. And let's go to the past year. And I'm sorted from low to high. Now I'm going to exclude the 5K and the 20K maybe, maybe not. I didn't exclude on the actives. So this one sold for 20 grand. It's 1 acre. So I'm going to do 20 grand, 1 acre. Cool. 35 grand, 2.29 acres. 35 grand, 2.29. 35, 2.29. This one, 36, 1.91. 36, 1.91. All right, 60,000, 1.3. 60,000, 1.3. 65,000, 2.58. And let's do one more. One more, shall we? 67,000, 1.66. 67,000, 1.66. So my average sold price per acre is 27,640. And we're going to offer 40%. All right, so now I have, you can see here the values. Let me zoom in a little bit. Value based on active comps, about 85 grand. Value based on sold comps, gulp, 49,000. So yeah, I don't know, man. Now it's kind of like, well, what am I going to list it for? This is where you need to think about what, if I want to sell this thing, put it on the market, put yourself in the mind of the buyer. What can I sell this thing for? So this is when you just kind of go back here to Redfin and you look at actives and under contracts. And you're thinking, man, if I want mine to sell quickly, what should it be? This one's 20 grand, but it's way up there. This one is pending 71 and it's 1.92, similar size, but it's a perfect building site. Mine is kind of like, and there's no HOA. Mine might be in a wetland, right? So I'm kind of going to be more conservative here. If I zoom in, What should I list mine for, you ask? I want to be conservative, right? And mine's on a wetland. So I'm thinking I'm leaning more along the lines of my value is going to be based on sold comps. And if I offered 40%, yeah, so maybe I'm gonna list mine for 49,500. And here's the thing. I may be completely wrong, and it doesn't matter what we think, right? What matters is what the market says it's worth. We don't know if wetland is a big deal or not in this area. Maybe it is. I've sold tons of wetland properties and flood zone properties because of it's people buying it for recreational land. They want to ride their four-wheelers in the mud. So we'll see. I'm going to get it under contract at the lowest price that I can, and I'm going to put it out there on the market. I have 3 months to close. And if I'm not getting any interest, then I go back to the seller. I either cancel or renegotiate. That's why I love this business. So now I'm going to come up with an offer based on my minimum wholesale profit. So if I'm going to sell this thing for $49,500, I want to make at least a $10,000 wholesale fee. I'm going to pay a realtor 8%, which is about $4,000. I'm going to have $2,000 in closing costs. I might pay $500 for photography. If I'm borrowing private money on this deal, you'd put that there. So my offer, and let's say I'm going to borrow private money. I'm going to borrow private money and pay my private investor. So if I'm going to buy it, let's say for 30, I'm going to pay them 10%. I'm going to pay a private investor about $3,000 in interest just to borrow their money for a couple, 3 months. Maybe. We'll see. I don't know, but we'll just build that in there. So my offer based on minimum profit is $30,000, which is interesting now because look at this. My value based on comps is there and there based on my list price. My offer based on active comps is 34,000. My offer based on sold comps is 19,000. My offer based on making a minimum profit of 10 grand is 30 grand. So now you just choose what you want to offer. I'll offer 30 grand for the deal. Are there any back taxes owed? You can look in county records. No. And then I'm going to give them an expiration date of the 16th. Cool. Now, let's say I wanted to offer seller financing. Now, I don't necessarily recommend that you do this for your first, if you're just getting started. It adds a little complexity to the deal. But if you wanted to, you could give the seller an option of like, hey, I'll pay you 30 grand for it, or I'll give you for cash, or I'll pay you 45 grand for it with seller financing. Maybe I would do, I'll give you 30 grand cash or $45,000 seller financing. No, that's way too much. I'm looking at this thinking maybe 30 grand is too much. I'm going to give them a cash offer of 20 grand. And then I'm going to give a seller financing offer of 30 grand. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. 20 grand cash, 30 grand seller financing. And I'll give them 10% down and I'll pay them 5% interest over 5 years. So what's your play with this? Which means I'm going to be paying them $485 a month. Now that payment doesn't start until I find a buyer. So basically I'm going to be selling it for, what did I say I'm going to list it for? I'm going to list it for 49,500. Okay. So let's get a mortgage calculator out. So if I sell it for 49,500 and let's say I get a $5,000 down payment. So I'm going to be financing it for 45,500 and I'm going to finance it for 60 months at 10% interest. I'm going to be getting $966 a month if I sell it on owner financing. Now let's say I do 120 months. Let's say I sell it on owner financing for 10 months, for 10 years rather. My payment will be 601. So you look at this now, I'm going to be paying the seller $485 a month for 5 years, but I'm going to be collecting 601 for 10 years. So my cash flow will be zero practically, maybe $100 for the first 5 years, but then the next 5 years, it'll be $600 a month cash flow on this thing. And if I want to do it 5 years, so 60 months, my payment will be $966. So what's my cash flow going to be? If I'm paying the seller 485, but I'm collecting 966, my cash flow is, what is that? 966 minus 485. My cash flow is going to be $481 a month. Cash flow. And remember, I'm paying that seller $3,000 down. Where am I getting that $3,000 down? Well, I'm getting it from the end buyer that I sell it on owner financing to. Now, even if I buy it with seller financing, I'm still not going to close on it until I know I have a buyer who will buy it from me with owner financing. All right, so now it's given me a two-page, two-option letter of intent, a cash and offer contract, and I'm going to show you what those look like here. I'm going to have to open them up in Google Drive. So let me upload it, downloaded it to my computer. Here is the two-option letter of intent. It's just a one-page letter that says, hey, I'd like to buy your property, and I can maybe buy it in one of these two ways. All right, let's take a look at it. And I'm also going to open up cash offer and contract. Okay, so this is a two-option letter of intent, and let's shrink that a little bit. Okay, basically, it's a letter referencing, the postcard, the reference ID that was on the postcard, It's addressed to the seller. Hey, this is regarding your blank. Dear Charlie, I'm following up with our conversation on your 1.78 acre lot near blah and blah. If you're still interested in selling it, we might be interested in buying it. Here are some different options we could possibly offer you. Cash, 20 grand. You can close in 1 to 3 months, depending on clear title and due diligence. Or seller financing. We can buy it from you for 30, 3,000 down, 3% interest, 5 years, 485, 5 years. We pay all the closing costs, property taxes every year. Our title company will handle all the paperwork and give you a promissory note secured by deed of trust. Call me if you have any questions about it. So that's just a one-page letter you could send in the mail to the seller. You could also just copy and paste this and put it into an email and send it to them, whatnot. Here, if you want to make them a cash offer, this is my contract that I sent. I don't know why Google Docs adds these bookmarks. If anybody can figure that out and let me know. So here's my cover letter to the seller. Hey, we can buy your property for this. This is how you can return the contract to us. And here's a one-page contract. It's just a cash offer for 20 grand. And so if you're, if you want, you can just file, download this as a PDF. You can print it, mail it to the seller. It's a cover letter and one-page contract. So we got one more deal let's look at. This is from David, Prince Edward County, Virginia. And I have the GPS coordinates right here. I'm going to copy them. And I'll share my screen. Let's look it up on Google Maps. All right, you guys see my screen? Here we go. I just put the GPS coordinates in there. This is a property if I zoom out. There it is in Virginia, near Richmond. Richmond, north of Richmond. That was a great song. It's closer to the city, so it's interesting, huh? Small city. Does it have road access? Probably. Let's look to see if there's any street view. Ah, here we go. Boom. Street view. So this tells you a lot, doesn't it? It's a vacant lot in a real nice subdivision. Will they allow hunting or camping or mobile homes on this lot? No. So this is the residential lot. You're probably going to sell to somebody who wants to build a house there in the future. You get it? Okay. So it's really nice when you have this thing right here, isn't it? And there's a house. So this is the neighbor right here. So this is the vacant lot right here. This looks real similar to some subdivisions near where we live in St. Louis. All right. So let's look at what vacant land is selling for here in the area. I'm going to click on this address right here, this house next door, so I can copy that address. And let's look it up on Zillow this time. All right, I'm gonna put this address in Zillow. So this is the address of the property next door, but I'm just going to X out of here because what it did is it gave me a map. And this map, our property that we're looking at is right there. So I'm going to remove boundary. Our subject property is here. So I want to just look at actives right now. I'm going to go to for sale, home type, make sure land only is chosen. I'm going to make sure I'm looking at property status of coming soon, accepting, backup offers, pending, and under contract. Oh, how many acres is this property too, by the way? How do we find that out? Well, we remember we had that the GPS coordinates. So here they are right here, the latitude and longitude. So I'm going to go to land ID. I'm going to do a new map, Virginia, get started. I'm looking up latitude, longitude. I'm going to put that right there. Cut, negative, paste. So let's scroll in. This property right here, 1.27 acres. Okay, so let's go back to Zillow. Lot size, let's do half acre to 2 acres. And let's start zooming out. There's 2 properties right there. And let's sort this from low to high. So here's one acre for 40. There's 2 of them, 45 grand. Let's zoom out again. Not a lot of active comps here. So is that a good thing? I don't know. I'm gonna have to zoom out because I only have 7 comps right now, right? I'm gonna zoom out again. This makes me a little nervous. There's not a lot of activity here. And the further we zoom out, we get some really cheap comps. This is a hard. I would ask you, David, why you're in this area to begin with. There's not a lot of activity here. Let me zoom back in. Our property's right there, right? I'm going to switch to solds. Apply. We're going to go here, sold in the last. Oh, you know what? Shoot, look at that. My actives says only show the ones that have been active for 12 months or less. The bad thing about Zillow is you keep on having to change that. So I'm going to look at for sales again, for sale, looking at these 3 things and scroll down. It has to be days on Zillow, any. Now I start zooming out. You have to make sure you remove that filter because now I've got a bunch more. All right. So this is my competition here. These are actives. Okay. Now I'm going to use that pebble scraper tool. And you see how I've got a zoom down. I'm going to zoom out one more time. All right. Now I have 19 comps, right? I zoom down, scroll down to get everything. And then I'm going to do the pebble scraper tool. And I don't know if you can see this, but there's a pop-up. Oh, you can't see it. All right. There's a pop-up and it gives me the, I'm going to bring down the lowest, the 10 lowest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And my average price per acre is $14,500 an acre. $14,500 an acre, right? Then I'm going to switch to solds, apply. I'm going to go to more. I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to say sold in the last 12 months. Click apply. There's only 10. See how far zoomed out I am? There's only 10 sold comps in the last year. So I'm going to scroll down and then I'm going to do that pebble scraper tool. And I'm going to see now my median. I know you can't see it. Let me send this. I'll show you guys a screenshot of what I'm looking at here. Okay. So this is what I'm looking at. You can't see this pop-up, but this pop-up gives me the average and the median price per acre of all of these properties here on the right. And so my median price per acre is $11,500 from when I'm looking at the solds, $11,500 an acre. All right, so I have a spreadsheet. You can get this at the simplelandkit.com, right? Simplelandkit.com. Boom. Oh, yeah. So if you go here to the second tab, so we're looking at solds of 11,551. So I'm going to put that right here. 11,551. Our property was how many acres again? 1.27. And then actives, we're going to switch back to actives. I know I'm flying through this fast. We're looking at all three of those, and we have to make sure days on Zillow is any. All right, then I do the Zillow. I bring down the lowest 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm doing that pebble scraper thing. Our median price per acre on active listings is 13,179. Actives. All right. So if I discount the actives 15%, property's worth about 14 grand. All right. So if I list it 14,500, I want to make at least $7,500 on the deal. I'm going to pay a realtor 10%. I'm going to have a 5% oops factor. I'm going to pay a realtor 5 grand. I'm going to have 1,500 in closing costs. I'm going to offer $2,800 on this deal. If I offer $2,800 and I sell it for $14,500, I'll make $7,500 profit. That's about 20%. And then you look at your gut check. All right, well, yeah, looking at this, my property, again, it's 1.27 acres. You have to look at what your competition is like. Why would somebody want to buy yours for 20,000 when they can buy this one that's bigger for 19.9, and it's been on the market 244. So I want to price mine aggressively, right? I want mine to be the cheapest vacant lot in the area. I'm going to sell mine for $14,500. And then I subtract my costs and I'm going to offer 2,800. When you're picking a county, and I'm going to be talking about this on my Saturday workshop, when you're picking a county, you want to make sure you're going into areas that have high demand. Why? Because I'm talking all the time about follow the money. Follow the money. We want to make sure we're in an area with high demand. It's always easier to sell buyers what they want rather than what you have. And you may be in Virginia and you may be doing deals there, but there's just not as many buyers buying land in Virginia as there is in probably North Carolina, South Carolina, even Georgia, in that area. So you want to focus on the areas of high demand. Now, when you do that, David, because now he's also focusing on North Carolina, you have to remember you're going to have more competition. There's going to be other investors that are doing deals there as well, which isn't a bad thing. Competition's a good thing. It all comes back to the numbers. Remember that spreadsheet I showed you guys earlier, all right? You got to remember it comes down to the numbers. If you want to make 10 grand a month, work backwards from there. You remember those numbers I was telling you about? We're going to cover this in the Saturday workshop. Again, I'm pushing this hard. I apologize. joemccall.com/Saturday, because I'm going to show you how to do all of this stuff. But remember that spreadsheet I showed you here earlier. Okay. Boom. If you want to make 10 grand a month, you work backwards from there. So let's say instead of this, your monthly goal, you want to make 10 grand a month. And you have to make 30 offers to do a deal. And you have to make you get 80%, you make offers on 80% of your leads. So you need 37 leads per deal. If your average response rate is 1%, you're going to need to send 3,700 postcards. If your average cost per postcard is 70 cents, you're going to need to spend about $2,600 in marketing to do 7,375 net profit. So another way you can look at this is, I'm going to delete that. Let's just say here, your monthly goal, actually, I'm going to do a new spreadsheet here. Okay. Your monthly income goal is 10 grand a month. And that is, okay, after all your expenses. So your net is 10 grand a month. Okay. So remember this other tab here. So our average net profit on a deal is going to be $7,300 on a deal. This would be, I'm confusing this here. Let's say your average profit is 10 grand, and that's going to be after realtor costs, closing costs, and all of that. So your net profit's going to be 7,300. So then let's go here to this tab. So then if my average net profit is $7,500, okay, that's after all your expenses, okay, and marketing costs. So how many number of deals per month is going to be what? You're going to have to do a 1.3 deals a month. You see where I'm going with this? All right. So if your average number of offers per deal is 30, you need to make offers per month. You need to make 40 offers a month, or offers per week. You need to make 10 offers a week, or offers per day. Do you see where I'm going with this? You need to make 2 offers a day. So we're breaking this down now into things we can control. This is really important to understand. So let's say you're making percent leads per offer. So let's say you're making offers on 85% of the leads you get. The number of leads that you need per month is going to be, you need 47 leads per month. Okay. And then leads per week, you need 11.8 leads per week. All right. So you need about 12 leads per week, or leads per day divided by 5. You need 2.5 leads per day. We're breaking this down into things you can control, right? Well, let's say your average response rate from direct mail is 1%. Okay. So that postcards per month, you need 47 leads per month divided by 1%. You need to send 4,700 postcards a month. Postcards per week. Boom, there you go. You need to send 1,100 postcards a week. And if you do that, based on these numbers, and I'm not promising or guaranteeing anything of this, you should make about 10 grand a month. Do you see where I'm doing with this? All right. And I'm looking at your net profit after all your expenses and marketing. Maybe this is, maybe it's less. Maybe your average net profit per deal after all your expenses is $5,000. That's your net, 5 grand. Means you need to do 2 deals a month. You need to make 3 offers a day. So what are the most important numbers you need to know here? Well, I'm glad you asked. You need to make 3 offers a day. You need 3.5 leads per day. Let's round that up. You need 4 leads a day. And you need to send about 2,000 postcards a week. Now, cold calling is going to be different. Oh yeah, David, I have lots of videos on KPIs in my course. Yeah. That's it. So you got to break this down into things you can control, and these numbers will change. We're at 20 offers per deal on average, but you might be 40 offers. You might be 50 offers per deal. So that just means you have to make 5 offers a day. You need 6 leads a day. You need to send 3,000 postcards a week. If you're doing that though, your average profit's going to be, $10,000 or whatever. So you just kind of work the numbers, and every day, this is what you need to put in your marketing plan. Every day, every week, I'm going to send, 100 letters a day, 1,200 postcards, 1,500, 2,000 postcards a week. And once you set this up, you can have a virtual assistant do it all for you. Okay, I got to wrap this up. This has been fun, isn't it? I enjoy doing these videos with you all. Few things. If you want more information on how to get me to review your deals, like I just did with David, go to dealswithjoe.com. Do I have that here? Dealswithjoe.com. Dealswithjoe.com. That is going to train. And now it's mainly houses right now, but I'm going to be adding in a crash course, high level course on land. Deals with Joe, it's just $7, and you get to be on these webinars with us, and we'll review your deals. If you want the Simple Land Kit, simplelandkit.com. And if you want to join my Saturday workshop, good grief, all the text, joemccall.com/Saturday. This coming Saturday and every Saturday after this for a while, I'm going to be going live, or it might be recorded. I don't know yet. But I'm going to be showing you how to do deals, joemccall.com/Saturday. And it's going to be a class where I'm pulling back the curtain and setting up an entire business in a brand new market. If I were to start all over again from scratch, I'm going to show you how to do it. joemccall.com/Saturday. It's just $7.